Well, thank you so very much for the invite, and thank you for the privilege. Good afternoon, everyone from all across Nigeria. I've seen people here from different parts of the country, and it's so amazing that we are having this gathering this afternoon. So our topic for this very panel is changing the narrative, the agricultural narrative via social media engagement. How do we begin to use social media to begin to drive the narratives that we want to see in the agricultural space, especially as young people? You would agree with me that the time has come for us as young people and as people in general to begin to leverage social media for engagement, to begin to narrate, change the narrative for agriculture and make people get enticed into the agriculture and also tackle a food insufficiency problem. My name is Tohib Bisiri, and this afternoon I'll be moderating this panel session, and it's good to have you. So, my panelist, Mr. Farotimi Olaolu, as the moderator mentioned, as the host mentioned, and of course, Mr. Samuel Oyedino, as the host mentioned, then Mr. Adewale Adedokun, as the host mentioned. So, for Mr. Farotimi Olaolu, he is the CEO of Agric Income. And it will interest you to know that he's not just that, he's also an agri-blogger. I mean, this is the first time I've heard about agri-blogger. So you can see that someone is passionately interested in blogging around agriculture, and that's a really good thing to know. I think we all should connect with him. Also, he's also a front-end developer, interesting, and he said he also engaged in heliculture, that's snail farming, and that's absolutely interesting. Thank you so very much, Mr. Farotimi. Mr. Farotimi, just to sound check, are you connected with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Thank you so very much, sir. So our next panelist is Mr. Samuel Oyedino. Like I mentioned, he is an agripreneur and of course a food security advocate. And more importantly, he is the assistant HOD at the farm business unit at DOFMA. Mr. Samuel, are we connected? Just to sound check.
Yes, I'm with you.
Thank you very much, sir. It's good to connect with you here. And of course, Mr. Adewale Adedokun is also the assistant HOD at marketing and sales at DOFMA. Mr. Adewale Adedokun, are you connected?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Okay, absolutely. So we're going to be looking at this topic, changing the agricultural narrative via social media engagement. And I am aware that all of us, the panelists have been given several topics, subtopics around this topic, right? So we're going to be doing it like this. Our 30 minutes engagement from now to, let's say, 1:20, then 1:30 for the wrap-up of the engagement will be splitted into three. We're going to be having introduction, interaction, then the closing. Just your closing will be just more like a remark, okay? So for the introduction, you're going to be telling us your name, what you do, and particularly in aspect of this topic, the topic you are going to be talking about exactly around this topic that has been given. The very subtopic you have with you in just like 2 minutes each. Then we get right into the interaction, handling questions and answer from around the conversation, especially from your area of topic, so that we can have a very broad perspective in conversation and bring it in thought here. Good in this afternoon, right? So I'll go with Mr. Samuel. So Mr. Samuel, you tell us your name, what you do, where you presently work, and your topic, and what you want us to get from that topic. Don't forget, you have just 2 minutes.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Oyedino Samuel. Today, an agropreneur and an advocate for sustainable agriculture. I'm the assistant HOD of farm business unit at DOFMA Integrated Agritech Services. Today, I will be talking about the impact of social media on agricultural extension. Thank you.
All right, thank you so very much. So the impact on social media on agricultural extension, because agricultural extension at this time, it's not important, and it even requires urgent attention, because the last time I checked as an agricultural administration student myself, I realized that agricultural extension, according to statistics, we say the extensionists we produce out in the into the country would have one extension agent or extension officer to about 1,000 farmers. So that means people really do not even understand the concept of agriculture or the value of this agricultural extension is, and there's need for us to begin to have enlightenment around that. So thank you very much, and that's going to be a beautiful topic we are going to be talking about. So let me go straight also to Mr. Adewale Adedokun. So you have 2 minutes. Just do as the same. like I introduced, Mr. Adewale Adedokun, sorry.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, Mr. Toyib. My name is Adewale Adedokun. I'm the Assistant HOD in Marketing and Sales Department at DOFMA. So I'm also a digital marketer. So my subtopic for today will be shaping the future of agriculture via social media. Shaping the future of agriculture via social media.
Hello.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Adewale Adedokun. So you are going to be talking about shaping the future of agriculture via social media because, yeah, our future is upon us as people, as agripreneur, as agribusiness enthusiasts.
Hello.
As hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Afternoon. We are presently on a panel session. Would you like to hold on and do this probably in the next 30 minutes when we have the general session going on? All right. So that's just that. We're going to be looking at shaping the future of agric via the use of social media. Absolutely. So, Mr. Adewale, so now you are in line to do the same.
So I can hear you clearly.
Mr. Adewale, I mean, Mr. Farotimi Olaoluwa, apologies. So you are in line to do the same, sir, Mr. Farotimi Olaoluwa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Olaoluwa Farotimi. I'm the CEO of Agric Income Hub, where we publish information regarding agriculture, and I'm also the CEO of Magzi Faru Farms, where we breed snails, we offer consultancy and market snail services as well. So today my discussion will be around increasing food sustainability via social media engagement. Thank you.
Would you like to come again, sir?
Okay. I said my name is Farotimi.
I mean the topic, just the topic.
Okay, so we're talking around increasing food sustainability via social media engagement.
All right. So thank you so very much. So to everyone who is, all the participants who are presently on this call, we all have had topics around the very topic we're going to be discussing in this panel session. And I'd like you to put your thoughts down as we engage the panelists, and also make use of the in-call messages, the chat box later to ask questions and all of that. So we are going to be giving us like 5 minutes to engage ourselves to ask our panelists questions. But so let's get right into the interaction. So we have different topics spanning across for a very topic, which is the changing the agricultural narrative via positive social media engagement. So we understand that social media has come to stay, and agriculture as an industry must not be lagging, must not be taking the backseat into tapping into the opportunities, the world of opportunities that is embedded in the social media space, right? So now, let me start from Mr. Farotimi Olaoluwa. You're the one who spoke last, so let me start from you. So how do we increase food sustainability? We know the goal at the end of the day for all actors in the agricultural value chain is increasing the food sustainability, because when we tackle food security challenges, the nation gets better, because agriculture is not necessarily the backbone of the country. I would say it is the oxygen, because when someone lost their backbone, they can still manage to engage on a wheelchair and what have you. But if someone lost the oxygen, I mean, if the oxygen in anyone stop, then that means the person has died. So I would say that agriculture is more like the oxygen of a nation, but far stronger than the backbone. So how then do we increase food sustainability using social media engagement? We understand that we have to farm, we have to do a lot of things, but how do we use social media, sir, to drive real-time engagement and tackle the issue of food insecurity and bring about food sustainability?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. I would like to come in the angle of let's first have a clear understanding of what sustainability means. According to the World Food Program, we have a start of over 821 million people that goes hungry every day. And by 2050, there's a projection that the world population will be close to 9 billion. So how do we overcome this challenges? Because with that number, that means we need to increase our food production. So for us to increase our food production, we should just know that it's not a business of one man. Because if we just neglect food production to farmers alone, we are on a long term. Let me just put it that way. So as an individual, as a farmer, and as a family person, we all have a responsibility, which is food production. So aside that, we all use social media. We call social media now as the information hub. So as an information hub, there's a way we use it. In the entertainment industry now, there's a way they use social media, which is generating a lot for them. So we as youth, we should also bank on social media as a way we can get information. So for us to achieve food sustainability, everybody has a role to play, not just some people who produce, some people who eat. Because if it comes to that, we are all coming down to where we have lack of food security. So number one thing for us to use social media, number one, I would say education. For us to achieve food sustainability, we need to re-educate ourselves. So how do we do that? We have people that post information regarding food, zero hunger, food security, sustainability on social media. So this is really a way for us to educate ourselves. And we at Agric Income, we are into information for agriculture, and we are also an advocate for zero hunger. And yearly we produce e-magazine. We make it e-magazine because it will be easy to distribute. Everybody can have a copy, and it will go a long way for us to educate ourselves. And for us to also achieve increased food sustainability, we need to look for technologies, for us to reduce food wastage. We all know about post-harvest losses, how it's eats into more of our productivity. So all these things, we can always have a gathering on social media whereby everybody will come and share their thoughts. And with this, it will definitely go a long way for us to increase our food sustainability. And social media engagement in this context is just like an action for us to partake. And also, one major point that I used to say is we support our local production. How do we support our local production? It's just through the use of social media. If I'm, for example, now I'm growing maize, and I'm just on a average scale. Social media is a way for me to just market myself, and people around me can know what I'm doing. And through that, we are also contributing our own quota. So let me stop here for now.
All right, thank you so very much. In this engagement, I've been able to establish that education, or let me say orientation, about the use of social media. I mean, how it's meant to be used, especially for people in the agricultural sector, in any of the value chain of agriculture across board, need to know how to use social media to their advantage, and not just to post about I'm doing weddings and the likes. While those ones are nice, they are nice to have, but having agriculture related content and how to drive engagement around it is also very key for every key person in agriculture, for every person who is a driver in the agricultural value chain. So you also mentioned that being technologically inclined, I mean, we should be tech savvy and tech driven at this time. And tech here is not the big or the cumbersome context that it may appear like. Tech is just you being able to use basic tools that you can get to use via social media to drive engagement. Then you step it up time by time. Right? Then taking actions is one of those things you highlighted, and that's actually very important. So if you continuously take action, it makes sense. Then we say supporting our local production. It also helps us to drive engagement using social media. When we support ourselves, we post our content, we post other people's content to cross-fertilize engagement across board and help ourselves become better as a people who are drivers of agriculture. Then mentioning again that support system, more like the social media periodic conversation, let's say like a Twitter space where you come maybe weekly or bi-weekly or twice or once a month or thereabout to have conversations and follow up what we call monitoring and evaluation, stuff like that. So all of these things are what I've been able to pinpoint from your expressions. I'll still come back to you. Let's quickly go to Mr. Adewale Adedokun. Mr. Adewale Adedokun, are you connected with me?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. So let's look at it from your own angle as someone who who understand marketing and sales, right? You are the assistant head of department of marketing and sales, and we understand that nowadays marketing and sales is heavily done via social media. I mean, it is really, really done via social media. So, how do agripreneurs, agribusiness owners, drivers of agriculture, any of the value chain, how do we leverage social media to drive sales, right? How do we use that to drive sales and marketing? Let's take that question from that angle first.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. That's a very quick question. So, we are in the 21st century now, and the power of 21st century is now in our hands, literally. I mean, we've never had such a powerful tool to connect with millions of people. I'm talking about social media now. We've never had before. There was never a powerful tool to connect with millions of people from the comfort of your own home, of our homes. There's never been a tool before social media, and all around the world. It's changing the way business is done. Social media has given us the power to voice to the average person, and the opportunities are there for the taking, especially when it comes to agriculture. Do you understand? So social media is now a mainstream form of communication around the world, and it continues to grow in popularity with the increase in number of smartphones. I mean, each and every single year, there are increase in users of smartphones. So I don't have the accurate data for the number of smartphone users in right now in 2022. I don't have the actual data, but I know that there are now over 5 billion users of social networking platforms. Over 5 billion users, and this is just the bare minimum. I don't have the correct data, like I said, but the last time I checked, there are over 5 billion users of social networking platforms in the world, and other industries have embraced. I mean, aside agriculture industry, other industries too, they have embraced these platforms in business and consumer engagement. However, the thing is, agriculture has not been utilizing this. We've not been utilizing it widely. So the value of social media for agriculture industry, it lies in the value of social capital. So it brings, the social media brings the farmer, the agricultural industry itself, and the consumer closer together. So that's the role of social media in agriculture. It brings us the farmer, the agricultural industry itself, and the consumer. It brings us together. So there's more transparency, there is more engagement, there is more trust, and there is more authenticity in the supply chain. With the help of social media, people we are now transparent. Like engagement, for example, this summit now, we can't be here if not for social media. We can't be here. Before social media, all we have to do is what? Maybe go to a radio station, go to newspaper, publish our summit there, and it has to be physically. Unlike now that we are all, I think, how many of us are on the call now? We are about 80 of us on the call now, and we are each and every one of us are in comfort of our homes or wherever we are. So we don't need to move from. I don't know where you are. I don't know the states that some of us are from. Currently now, I'm in Kwara State currently. Yes, I'm in Kwara State currently, but from all over the world.
Interesting to know, because I'm also in Abeokuta. I'm in Abeokuta, so far world apart, actually.
Exactly. So we don't have to be traveling from one state to another to be able to engage. Social media is there for us. The only thing stopping us is maybe you don't have a smartphone, or you don't have an internet data, or maybe you're not familiar with all these social media, all these social platforms. Once you have all these things in hand, we are good to go. Hope you understand. So the value of social media for the agriculture industry lies in the value of social capital, like I said. So I'll be talking on the three key area values of social media in agriculture. So the first one is networking, farmer to farmer. The networking between farmer and farmer via social media platforms. And what does this do? It enables farmers and agribusinesses to meet and network with each other. with other farmers, with agribusinesses and consumers, domestically and globally. I mean, with the use of social media now, we can now export our agricultural products from Nigeria to all other places. All we have to do is what? All we have to do is network on social media. We don't have to be calling ourselves, we don't have to meet ourselves physically. So as far as we trust each other, like for example, Dofma IAS now, maybe there is a firm or an individual trying to buy a product from maybe China, for example. Once it sees that we are transparent with our work, all he has to do is order for our products, and we do what? We deliver it to him. So that's one of the benefits. Then another one is to enable interaction directly with people of influence. For example, one of our speakers today is the Deputy Director of Agriculture in Lagos State. Imagine, if not for the help of social media, how can we be able to connect with such people before social media? I mean, it will be difficult for us to just go to their office. I mean, even the gate man can say that we don't know you can't come in. What we get, but with the use of social media, I don't know how he was I don't know the right word to put this. I don't know how they got to him to be able to speak in this summit. What we get, but it might be through Facebook, it might be through Twitter, it might be through LinkedIn. I don't know. Maybe our CEO, maybe he has a relationship with him before. But even if let's assume there is not a relationship between them before, all we have to do is what? We have to look them up, maybe especially on LinkedIn now. Maybe look him all on LinkedIn and connect with him that okay, we want to do this summit, we want to host the summit, and we would like you to be one of our key speakers. So that's one of the benefits of social media. Then it provides us with a wealth of knowledge and ideas from a range of resources. So number two, the first one is I talked about networking between farmer and farmer. So the second one now is consumer engagement, like the farmer and consumer. That's the engagement between the farmer, or let's say the agricultural industry, and the consumer. So it helps us connect and engage with consumers, becoming the connection between farmers and consumers is becoming more important as most of our consumers are now using social media platforms. Yes, most of our consumers, they now use social media platforms to make buying decisions.
All right, Mr. Adewale. So I'll still come back to you because I see that you're really going to be sharing a lot with us, right? And this panel is going to go probably for a round or two more. So we'll capture some of the rest of your thoughts in the next round. Okay, are we good, sir?
Okay, no problem, sir.
All right, thank you very much. So, Mr. Samuel, are you connected? Let's quickly get on board. Mr. Samuel? Please, okay. Are we connected?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Thank you so very much. So, looking at your topic around this very topic of social media, the aspect, or let me say, the power of extension agent or extension officer or agricultural extension itself as a whole conversation is important. Now, how do you think the knowledge? Is it that we need the extension service knowledge, or we need to know the importance of the extension service agent or service officer in the use of social media, particularly? Now we're focusing more on social media. We know extension officers could go to the farm and do stuff, but now we're talking about leveraging social media with the power of extension officers or extension agents. How do you think this bring about increase in food sufficiency and the drive for social media engagement, bringing about food sufficiency in general? Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Toib. I will start by relating this, the context of this topic to the statistic that came out, I think, last month. That agriculture is contributing to the economic development. So aside from food production, agriculture is contributing to the economic development. And it is very true that by 2030, the world population will double. And we are going to need a lot of farmers, more farmers, to feed the ever increasing world population. So moving to the topic of today, the impact of social media on agricultural extension. Let me break agricultural extension down. when we talk about agricultural extension, they are those set of people that bring the information, technology, or updates about agriculture to people in order for them to be informed about what is going on in the sector. So in order for us to meet the food sustainability, we need to be a voice for the voiceless. And if other people are not informed, they will never be involved. So every one of us can be an agricultural advocate. That's the first point I have to hammer on. Because if you do not tell people the possibility in agriculture, they will never believe, because we are so bombarded with this mindset that agriculture is old and cutlass. But if we're able to push ourselves out there through social media, like Mr. Lidoko have said, over 5 billion people are using social media in the world. If you're able to place yourself as an advocate for sustainable agriculture, as an extensionist, bringing information to the people and seeing the light in the agriculture, that is what can make the food sustainable as the world is growing. We need a lot of farmers, we need a lot of technology, but people need to be informed for them to be informed. So there are a lot of ways that an agricultural extensionist can pass information to the intending farmers or practicing farmers that want to upgrade from a local production, maybe to a more digitalized space. There are a lot of ways an agricultural extensionist can pass the information. The first way is one of those days that we use newspaper. Newspaper, most of people, if I ask many of people on this call, when last did we read newspaper? News can be read online. So the newspaper means of extension is not sustainable. That's why we need to actively engage in the social space to show the people the light in agriculture. People say seeing is believing. If they're able to see what is going on in the agricultural sector as an extensionist or as an advocate for sustainable agriculture, it will draw people to see what is happening there and they want to be involved. Let's assume the way they are publicizing BB Nigeria, the way artists come up on board to talk about what they do, young farmers are coming out to share their knowledge, to tell people what they know in agriculture. It will be enticing to youth, because majority of we youth, if we see a dirty man owing that his clothes is being torn, our mindset goes straight to, oh, this person is a farmer. So, but if some set of people are able to place themselves on a space talking about the interesting part of agriculture, and one thing that is not making us moving forward in this country is that we are late adopters of technology and information. Everybody is talking about climate change, climate change, climate change. As the information reach the local farmers, some people do not know of hybrid seed, drought resistant seed, irrigation system. So, and you want the food to be sustainable in 2030 when the world population will be double, when they don't have access to this information. So we need to be a voice for the voiceless, like I said. And social media, I don't know, our generation believe let's work in silence and let my success make noise. That era has gone. This is 21st century. Let me spin this as a scenario. You want to make a wardrobe, and you saw a carpenter placing a fine wardrobe in his shop, and someone recommend you someone recommend you to a person. They say it's good, but you get to his shop, there's no wardrobe there. Who are you going to give your project to? So anybody preaching the gospel of agriculture, people will be able to see the light in it. So all of us can be an advocate for sustainable agriculture, but one thing we need to know is you need to have the information about agriculture before you can be an agricultural extensionist. You can't preach what you don't know. So for the food sustainability, we need to embrace advocacy for sustainable agriculture. Don't let us see agriculture as a dirty man business. One thing about agriculture is that There are a lot of value chain in the agriculture system that you can advocate for or you can be an extensionist for. That part, advocate for it very well. Let people see the light in it. You are solving the global food problem. So everybody can actively involve in agricultural extension via social media handle. Just find a niche in the agricultural value chain, preach it very well, and people will come to the sector and be informed. Rural farmers are the people producing majority of the food that we consume in urban centers. And if we did not make them strong by passing out the information to them, how many farmers do we have in Lagos? The main farmers are the rural farmers, but we need to extend the information to them as a youth. So we are safe to save others as an entrepreneur. So just
All
find
right. Absolutely. Thank you so very much, Mr. Samuel. Just if you're just joining us, I'm sure you know that you're in the right place. This is a DOFMA Agribusiness Summit 2022. And this very session is the first panel session for today. And the topic we've been addressing, we'll be looking at from our speakers, from our panelists, has been around changing the agricultural narrative via positive social media engagement. And so I have three panelists, and we've had a round of engagement. So I'll just come to you again for this very second round, and now we're going to wrap it up. I mean, we're going to have your closing remarks in this very question as well. So please do well to wrap up your thoughts in 2 minutes maximum, because I want to give the audience about 5 minutes for us to interact, ask questions from our panelists. Okay, so I hope we'll be able to pull this through together, guys. So I'll start from you again, Mr. Samuel. So the last question I'll be asking you, and the very and your closing remarks should go together. So you've talked about how it is important for us to now begin to advocate for whatever it is where we stand on in wherever we stand in the agricultural value chain, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we now, how do we go about it? You know, it's one thing to know that this is what you're supposed to do. It's another thing to know how to do it just in a minute, and also express your closing remark. How do we go about being an advocate? Yeah, I've learned that it is important for me to be an advocate, particularly using social media. But how do I go about it? Would you recommend this particular social media platform where I can easily connect with people, or are there platform you want to recommend? How do you think you can go about? How have you been doing it? Because I see that you're a champion and an advocate in this regard, right? So let's quickly get your thoughts around that, and don't forget to wrap up. Then I'll go to the next speakers.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Toib. One thing I'll always tell you is knowledge. You can't sustain what you don't have knowledge for. For you to be an advocate, you must be grounded. Like you might be speaking to some people and they are well renowned in what you are talking about. But if you don't have the knowledge, that's just the first thing. Once you have the knowledge, there are a lot of e-platforms online. Even Telegram alone, if you want to learn about agriculture, just type agriculture there. You can join a lot of groups to groom yourself for the task of advocating for agricultural business. The first thing is knowledge. Then join community of people that has the same insight with what you have. People that can actually let you know that this is what to do if we want to have a sustainable food in this century. So after joining the community, then after joining the community, then number one, reach out to people, connect with people. You can't do it alone. For us to get to the peak as a young agripreneur is through collaboration and partnership. Connect to people that you can make the change together, and you see that people are actually embracing agriculture as a career or as a business. Thank you.
All right, thank you so very much. That was succinct and very, very on point. So getting to connect with like minds, getting to join communities, getting to do what we can do, right? So it's now very clear to all of us here that whatever aspect of agriculture you serve, wherever you do, whatever it is you do, please be a frontliner, be a frontier of it, be an advocate, speak about it, talk about it, talk it, like let people know, and as you do it, talk it. So that's just the takeaway from that very powerful insight from Mr. Samuel Oyedino. So very quickly, Mr. Adewale Adedokun. So you know how we go? Just 2 minutes. You answer this question and give us your wrapping up thoughts. I know the time is really very short, but you all know that we just have to do it this way. So apologies that I'm cutting you short at the point. Okay, it's really for us to keep to time. I hope you accept my apologies. So Mr. Dewale Adedokun, are we connected?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Absolutely, sir. So talking about this whole conversation around using social media to drive sales, marketings, and bringing about all of these things, how do we use social media to engage consumer? Consumer engagement is very important in sales. We have what we call the sales funnel, which is from the awareness to the consideration and of course to the closing. So there's a process. Now, how do we engage consumers as agripreneurs? Probably I have no idea about sales or digital marketing, for instance. What do you think we can do to engage consumer and get our product out there? Because it is when we get sales that we can produce more. It is normal because it is demand will always be equal to, the supply will also always be equal to demand, and vice versa, right? So what do you think? What are the things we can do in just 2 minutes, and you wrap up your thoughts?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So the answer to your question is just one thing: content. So we have different types of content. We have text content, we have graphic content, and different type of content. So you get, and we have audio content, we have video content. Yes, text content, audio content, video content, and graphic content. So those are the things. So we have different types of content too. It can be promotional content, it can be educational content, it can be informative content. For example, now one of our products in DOFMA is cashew farming. So we can go to maybe Facebook, for example, and we can just write a short content on the benefits of cashew nuts. Hope you get. So maybe someone sees, for example, maybe someone sees the health benefits of cashew nut or maybe cashew fruit itself. A consumer sees it, or let's say the prospect sees it on his on his timeline, and he says, I didn't know that cashew has this benefit, or maybe I'll be able to get in touch with this farm and buy some things from them. Or maybe he sees that, okay, if this can be helpful to our health, if it can benefit us, can benefit our health rather, so I can be able to buy some of the cashew nuts or cashew fruits from them and sell it to the last consumer. Hope you get. So the thing is content, and we have graphic content too. Graphic content doesn't need much word. All you have to do is, let's say for example on Instagram, you can say we use something called carousel. Carousel is those images that you see on that, and let's say an Instagram post that has more than graphic content that has more than one post. It's called carousel. So you can be sliding through the carousel. Let's say, for example, 5 health benefits of cashew, and the first page will be the topic. The next page will be number 1. The following one will be number 2, and it goes on like that. So content, that's how we engage our customers, our consumers. So from there, if they are now familiar with us, they are familiar with our products, they are familiar with our services, they are familiar with our company. So from there, we can now be promoting them. So what's called PLT in digital marketing is the know, the like, and trust. So if you keep giving out informative content and educative content, that means then if you get to a stage that they will like us. So if they are able to know us and like us, so then it will be difficult for them to trust us to do business with us. I'll stop there now.
All right, thank you so very much, Mr. Adewale. You've really, opened our eyes again, just like you did at the first time that I was with you, just engaging you. So, guys, we've learned again from Mr. Adewale that content is key, and what I just deduced from that is that we cannot do agriculture like we used to do it anymore. We cannot do agribusiness like we used to do it anymore. It won't yield the desired result. What does that mean? It means that as an agri person, you must by all means also learn to incorporate other skills, particularly media and digital skills and some little tech skills, so that when you are tech savvy, it helps you to push yourself the way you're supposed to push yourself, to sell your business, your produce the way you're supposed, or service the way you're supposed to do, and you get to actively engage in the agricultural space, because we cannot continue to go with the archaic method or the obsolete form of doing agriculture anymore, because now you need to learn probably the use of Canva to be able to do at least short the designs. If you cannot go into the graphics design in full, you need to learn how to write content. At least as an agriculturist, we are now saying that we are not just about cutlass and hoe. We are also people who speak. We are also people who write. We are also people who implement and do policies and policy formulations and implementation. So away from that, let's get to our last question for this panel session, and that will be directed to Mr. Farotimi Olaoluwa. So for those who are just joining, Mr. Farotimi Olaoluwa is an agri blogger. I love that appellation because it sounds really interesting to know that someone takes it up upon himself to be an agri blogger. When people are doing blogging for entertainment and other things, we see someone who says, I am interested in blogging around agriculture. Thank you so very much for that, Nick. So I'd like to just engage you in 1 to 2 minutes, Mr. Farotimi Olaoluwa, that you've talked about orientation, education, being tech savvy. So what would be your last thought into how do we begin to drive narrative using social media? I also see that you are a front-end developer. That means you would understand what it means to engage in building websites and using websites to drive sales or drive all of those things in agricultural space. So what would be your take, or how do I put it now? What will be your final words for us today in this panel session? We just have about 1 minute, so sorry.
Oh, thank you very much. Let me just wrap up, like you said. There are a lot we can do for ourselves, and I need to bang on the word action. Is all the speakers have spoken excellently well. We need to start bringing out action. So for us, we need to make agricultural look smart. Is how we proclaim it, is the way people will see it. And as youth, we can support our initiative. We can support that is with zero hunger, that is with food sustainability. We can volunteer, let more people know about this. This is not just about us. I take food sustainability as well, what I call the present and the future. So all our actions today will definitely speak for us tomorrow. So in conclusion, social media offer excellent opportunities, and it's spread across many topics across social media. And we are able to connect due to a social media platform like this. And most of us know what we do at Agric Income, and it is due to that we're able to connect. So I will like all of us to follow each other, let know what we do, so with that we can start with the collaboration that Mr. Samuel talked about. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Olaoluwa. I mean, that's it, action. Whatever we've learned in this summit, it is important that we begin to integrate it into our daily system as agripreneurs, as agri personnel, or agri stakeholders, or whatever identity or appellation we have in the agri space. Thank you so very, very much, our speakers. Once again, Mr. Oyedina Samuel, thank you. Mr. Adewale, thank you very much, and Mr. Olaoluwa. So thank you so very much, our panelists. So guys, this is the first panel. I had thought we were going to have questions from the participants to our panelists, but because time has been fast spent and we do not have the luxury of time, I would say that we can drop our questions in the in-call messages, and I hope that our panelists will stay a little while to engage that chat box to reply to questions that might be directed at us. I've seen a question already, but apologies, the time, I do not have the time, okay? I really do not have the time. In fact, I'm 1 minute late. So let me just wrap up. Thank you so very much, guys. For those who just joined, we just rounded off the first panel session for this very beautiful and eventful engagement we're having with Dofma. Thank you so very much, Dofma, for bringing this on board, and to the coordination team, to the planning team, everyone together. Thank you so very much for this opportunity and privilege. Once again, my name is Tohib Bisiri, and I've been privileged to host the first panel session in this event. I am a professional corporate event host, and of course, an agriculturist. Thank you so very much. I will the mic over to our host. Thank you.